Hello students, today we are going to study the poem Fog by Carl Sandburg. Before we move on to the poem, let us learn a few things about our poet. Carl Sandburg was born on January 6, 1878 in Galesburg, Illinois. He was an American poet, writer, editor and a 3-time Pulitzer Prize winner, 2 for his poetry and 1 for Abraham Lincoln's biography. Sandburg was encouraged by Professor Philip Green Wright, who encouraged his writing and also paid for the publication of his first volume of poetry titled Reckless Ecstasy. Harriet Monroe began publishing Sandburg's poems in Poetry, a magazine of verse, encouraging him to continue writing in the free verse style. He rose to prominence with Chicago Poems and Cornhuskers. His last volumes of poetry were Harvest Poems and Honey and Salt. Sandburg was highly versatile, having distinguished himself in other fields like fiction, history, biography, and music. Let us now begin with the poem. The fog comes on little cat feet. It sits looking over harbour and city on silent haunches and then moves on. Fog conveys the poet's passion for the natural world. It wonderfully seizes a moment or two when the fog flies in over the harbour waters. Sandburg has given life to this image through a metaphorical cat. The poem begins with the simple line describing the fog that comes on little cat feet. The fog silently and stealthily spreads over the city, much like how cats move. The poet further develops the comparison between cat and fog in the next lines of the poem. He states that the fog is sitting on silent haunches as it looks out over the harbour. It acts like a cat that sits on its haunches or hips as it surveys the world. The poem ends with the image of the cat moving on or the fog dissipating. Think hard about the poem. The poet likens the movement of the cat to the fog. What qualities do the fog and the cat have in common? A cat is a highly independent creature that doesn't follow rules. Scientific reports state that a cat retains its wild nature and can only be partially domesticated, unlike dogs. It is marked by its quality of detachment and the ability to flee at the wink of an eye. Also, mark how the fog, which has been imagined as a cat, sits in the poem. A cat sitting on its haunches cannot be caught easily, as it is an alert and agile animal. This unique ability of cats also suggests that their presence is never permanent. The fog too spreads quickly and completely blankets a city or a harbour, blocking all the light, and then, just as quickly, disappears. It shares its quality of transience with the cat. With that, we come to the end of this video. I hope this video inspires you to read a few more poems by Carl Sandburg. I will leave you with a stanza from T.S. Eliot's famous poem, The Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock. Do you find any similarities with Sandburg's metaphor in fog? The yellow fog that rubs its back upon the window panes, the yellow smoke that rubs its muzzle on the window panes, licked its tongue into the corners of the evening, lingered upon the pools that stand in drains, let fall upon its back the soot that falls from chimneys, slipped by the terrace, made a sudden leap, and, seeing that it was a soft October night, curled once about the house and fell asleep.